I wanted to make a video about the updates on my book, what's going on, and how in tune with your story, and make sure that you're reading it and it makes sense, but also you have the punctuation and the grammar right, because what you don't catch, someone else will catch. Now, if you miss a comma or let's say a parentheses or something, that's fine. But if you use the wrong there, and there, yeah, people are going to notice that, and it doesn't make it look like you're professional and you don't know what you're really talking about. Even if it has nothing to do with grammar, your book is not about learning your ABCs, it's about your story. It helps that you know what you're talking about and how to convey your message through words. The more different you are, the more valuable you are, the more extraordinary you are. And you do want to be extraordinary. You don't want to be like everybody else. Everybody else is taken, so you might as well be you. So that was the image I wanted to go for. I don't know if I'm going to use this logo for the rest of my life, but I think it encapsulates everything that I'm doing right now, and it was perfect for me. It was kind of difficult because the person who did my logo, she's in another country, and we only communicated through a website called Fiverr, and she does great work. Her name is String Fairy. She's Italian. Basically, I gave her this draft with words and images, and I was like, look, can you like make sense of this? Because I know, to me, the one requesting this is kind of like but if you could figure it out for me, I would be highly appreciative. And her artwork is more animation, which I wanted it to have that animation feel, but I wanted to be more realistic, and I really couldn't put it into words what I meant. But she really encapsulated what I wanted. Like I said, she really got the intimate details of a person's face. I wanted it to be like you took a picture of a person and you kind of made it animated, and she did that. So check her out if you ever need any professional things done, especially when it comes to marketing. She's really good at it. She also did my book cover. Now, my book cover came to me randomly. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I wanted you to understand that there was a growth here. My book is one of many. I plan on having 2 more books, but my first book, I wanted you to understand that the little girl that I was and the girl at 13, that's when the book ends, at that age for the book, I wanted you to understand that there was a growth, but there was also a phase of not accepting me for me and hiding who I was, putting on a mask. I really like the concept of a mask because a mask is hidden, and it's the most symbolic way of saying that something is hidden. So I used the mask concept, and I wanted to use theater. You know, there's a saying something like the world is the stage and everybody plays their part, or maybe I heard it in a rap song. Probably heard it in a rap song, but it's true. And I felt like when I was younger, I played a part that everybody expected me to play that part, even if it was slowly killing me inside. And I wanted the reader, or whoever sees the book, picks up the book, who's interested in reading the book, to see, wow, there is a grasp different. I wanted your eyes to be very stimulated. Book cover in the front, it shows it in black and white. I really wanted the black and white concept of being dreary without color. I don't know if you ever read The Gift Giver or seen that movie Pleasantville. They kind of had that black and white concept, which I really liked, and I really wanted to incorporate that in my book, at least for the front cover. And that's the little girl version of me. I'm playing my part, and you can see the audience, they are happy. They are amused at me playing my part, even though it's detrimental to me. And then at 13, you see the mask falling off, and you see it's in color. Now I'm getting to me. I'm getting to know me, even though it is not the true essence of me. It's me being rebellious. It's me. It's like me slipping into another character. Now I'm not that little girl. Now I'm that teenage girl, and I'm Betty Badass. Now I play this part, but this is not really me either. So you see that the mask is falling, and I'm more confident, but it's a false confidence. It's like false bravado, and the audience is terribly upset. You can see they're throwing fruits, and I wanted that concept. And again, the woman who did my book cover, she understood everything perfectly. With my book, my first launching of it, it will be in ebook format because I'm trying to get money so I can put it into physical. And I feel like it's more easily accessible. You can just download. You pay for the book. I send you a link via email, and you just download it in a PDF format, and you can just read it. It's saved. That's why I wanted the ebook format. It's easier. I could go with Amazon with the Kindle, but there's a lot of terms and agreements, and I don't want anybody to own any of my work. This is the reason why I went self-publishing route versus going to a publisher, because it will own some of your rights. And I feel like this is my story. Like, this is not something that came out of my head. This is not fictional. This is not fantasy. This is my real life. These are real experiences, and I feel like you don't own the right to it. No one owns the right to my life but me. And even though I may have gone a little overboard with it, and I was like, well, this kind of sort of weaker version of slavery, but I felt like it's my story. No one can own my story but me. So that's why I didn't want to go the publisher route. And then with Kindle, with Amazon, on top of having fees, but with any service, if it's not your own, you're probably going to have to pay it. There's also terms and agreements that I really wasn't feeling. So I wanted to go another route where it's like a website and you can sell your products virtually, and you just pay for the website that you're using, and you pay for their storage, so to speak, their virtual storage, but other than that, everything is yours. So that's why I went that route versus the ebook traditional Kindle or publisher route. So these are a few questions people ask about editing and creating a book in general. Is it hard? Writing is not hard. At least for me, writing was never hard. I've always been a writer. I've always been able to write things. I'm good at storytelling. I'm good at talking. I have crazy facial expressions. Like, I like talking. What I will say is hard is actually doing it, staying focused and actually doing it. That would be harder because it's intimate. It's very vulnerable. You are exposing yourself. Even if it is a fictional book, even if it is a fantasy book, you have to create everything and make it make sense. Even like, if you're writing or creating a book that is on the magical side of things, it has to make sense. It has to have this right era, right feel. You have to use the right words, the right dialogue of the time. So you have to make it congruent. If it's not, then the story loses its and its possible reader's attention. Couple other things. How do you edit? Well, I have edited myself. Like, I'm good with grammar. I'm not saying I'm super great at it. I'm not saying I'm on an APA board or anything. I've written college papers and software that helps you with writing, that helps you with editing, it helps you with grammar, hence the name Grammarly. So it makes sure that you have your commas, your punctuations, your parentheses, the right wording. Even tells you if the sentence kind of sounds off, if you need a word or take out a word. That's the great thing about Grammarly. So I would recommend that. Even if you're not writing a book, a college essays or whatever, it's really good for that. Marketing is a big aspect of your book, because even if your book is freaking fantastic, if you don't advertise it right, if you don't promote it right, no one's going to know it's fantastic, or it's going to have a slow roll to it. And if you're trying to get your message across and you're trying to make money, it's best that you advertise it and you push it out there the best that you can. Now, social media, you can use it to expose all your dirty little secrets, or you can use it as traps, or you can use it for marketing, which is the best thing, because not only do you get in touch with other people that you might not in your regular life, it helps you push out your message, whether you're an activist, whether you're a musician, whether you're an author. It's great social media aspect, but you have to have something eye-catching. You have to have a reason why people would want to follow you and why people would want to hear you out, because you get bum rushed with advertisement all the time. Especially with now that I have a Samsung phone, everything is advertisement, which I don't like. You have to grab the attention that makes people say, I'll give you the time of day, versus giving something else the time of day or scrolling down. So you have to have something eye-catching. I would say with marketing, word of mouth is great because that's the best type of advertisement. But if you don't have a big circle or you're on the independent route, use word of mouth. As much people as you can that do trust you, use them. have been getting a little bit of feedback and people have been liking it and sharing it, which I appreciate. So please continue. And I'm going to do that every day until the book actually comes out. Because I could tell you this book is coming out, this book is coming out. You could be like, okay, cool. But if you don't know anything about it or you don't have any attachments to it, you're not looking forward to it, it's a waste of time. So I would say marketing is key, but also being engaging, using what you have around you, even if it's not the internet or it's your friends and family. So anything that you can use to get your message out there, that's great. Physical copies. I'm looking to drop my physical copy on my birthday, May 13. I'm hoping that I could get enough revenue from enough exposure where I can start shipping out physical copies. I'll be shipping them out of my home. So I want to do that. And I also want to, in your book, have a little excerpt. If you want something special, just email me when the time comes to drop physical copies, what you would want in your book, and I'll definitely write it for you. And just let you know I appreciate you. I appreciate your service. I appreciate you backing and supporting. So I really want to be able to do that in May. The purpose of my book is finding my way. That's what my book is about. It's about finding your way, coming into yourself. My experience being raised in the 90s, being a black person, obviously. I was raised by my mother, a single mother, who is from another country. She's from Haiti. I was born and raised in America. So inside the household, I'm Haitian. Outside the household, I'm just a black American, just regular black. And living in those two realities, in those two spaces, sometimes I feel like I'll talk about it and I'll say like I was biracial. And I have two black parents. And people look at me like, huh. And it's just the different worlds. When I'm inside the house, I eat legume. When I'm outside the house, I eat collard greens. It's just two different cultures that do marinate in some aspects, but they are separate and they have separate languages and they have different rituals and different customs, but they still are part of me. But living in two different cultures and having secrets, this book goes over that. It goes over trauma. It goes over neglect, abuse. It goes over finding a way of being passive, but then finding your voice to be assertive and playing those parts and juggling those parts, and the good parts of being passive and the bad parts of being assertive, and the good parts of being assertive and the bad parts of being passive. Parenting parents who should be old enough and mature enough to be able to parent you and be an adult. It also goes over the detrimental effects of keeping secrets and trying to keep sane in an insane world. It goes over finding your voice. It goes over infatuation. It goes through a lot of things just with just this first book. The second book, I have no idea where it's going, to be honest. I kind of figure I want to go with it, but I don't even have that together. But it's funny because I have the third part together more than I have the second part together, because the third part is about me being an adult. I'm an adult now. I'm 23. So going back to the first book, I don't want anybody who reads it to automatically align with this person versus that person, because we tend to do that. We tend to be team this and opposite that. And I'm like, don't. This book, I want you to read it and to understand, but don't take anybody's side, because you will end up saying, oh, I like this character, and then you're like, I don't like this character. And it's like that. I don't want it to be all good or all bad. There are people who've done things, and some of the things were good, some of the things were bad, but I want you just to understand that this is just human nature. So yeah. And like I said, the third part is my conversations with my father, and it makes sense. The first book, you'd be like, man, that's real grimy, that's messed up, like, who does that? But if you get to reading all the way through the third book, you'll understand, like, man, that makes sense. I understand why that was done. Okay, that fills in gaps. In the first book, there will be certain gaps that you won't understand. The second book will fill in some of those holes, and then the third book will fill in everything. And then it'll still leave you in the cliffhanger, because I'm 23 and I still got life to live. So it's a very interesting read. Yes, because it's my book and I do feel that way, but for people who know me and people who've had conversations with me, they were kind of the reason why I did write this book, because they were like, man, your life is interesting, you've been through so many things, you should write a book. Me, I'm a very private person, even though I make YouTube videos. I didn't initially want to do that, and because I had so much positive feedback, I was like, I guess I will. Long story short, I was like, it's going to be very vague, 300 pages. Now that it's almost done, it's over 300 pages and it's very detailed. So read it, tell me what you think. I definitely want to take all the reviews that people give me and be able to post it on my website, let other people know, because I value your opinion. I always want to know how people think. I think that's why I got into psychology, not only because of my past, but also I'm very intrigued about what makes people do what they do, like what's going on with the human mind. So whatever comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know, leave them below. If you like this video, please comment, rate, share, subscribe. Tell me about your experience. Have you ever wanted to write a book? Have you ever written a book? What suggestions would you give for first time authors, especially self-published authors? That's my video. Be blessed, and I'm out.